Doesn't matter where you are, it's your trajectory. From time to time, I talk about my canoe racing in these videos. I try not to talk about them too much, but even though it was decades ago, and I have been mocked by friends for still talking about canoeing, it was a formative period of my life, and I learned some things that have stuck with me to this day and apply to many aspects of life, including, no surprise, disciple making. My partner and I were 15 or 16, and we started racing. And I recall one time training, going down this lake nearby with a bit of a tailwind, I think, paddling hard, just feeling like we're flying down the lake. And one of us said, if we could paddle this fast for an entire race, we would win every race. And then we'd stop and we'd jump out of the canoe and we'd swim and we'd talk and we'd kind of drift back to where we started. Well, that first year when we started racing, we went in 4 different races and we placed last in every single race. Perfect record, last in every race. Part of the reason for that consistent last place finish was that our basic thesis wasn't true. Even if we could have paddled that fast as we were paddling and training for an entire race, we wouldn't win. We would have still come last. And it didn't matter because we couldn't paddle that fast for an entire race. Hence, the last place in every race. Now, how is this related to disciple making? Well, let me put it this way, and please don't get discouraged as we walk through this progression. The mission is not just to get someone to pray a prayer and go to church. The mission is not even simply to get someone to repent and believe and get baptized, though that, of course, is critical. The mission is not just to make a convert, but to make a disciple, to recruit someone to follow Jesus. But the mission is even more than that. It's not just to make a disciple, but to make a disciple maker, someone who will engage on mission with Jesus. Now, in one sense, a true disciple is a disciple maker. But it seems like somehow there's become a definition of disciple that's taken root in Christian circles that doesn't include disciple making. So I wanted to state it explicitly. The mission is to make a disciple maker. If you decide to engage in disciple making, not just doing church, that is a huge step forward. But disciples need to meet with other disciples, ideally in some kind of a group. We can't do the Christian life, we can't do mission alone. But we don't just want a care group or a Bible study group. We want an on-mission group. A group that doesn't just teach, it also trains, it also equips, it releases people, holds people accountable to use their unique gifts on mission and encourages them in their disciple making. You might call this a microchurch. I like that phrase, microchurch. We often talk about an on-mission group. By the grace of God, as you and your people engage in disciple making and make more disciples, you might need to multiply out the microchurch and the on-mission group into several other groups and microchurches. And then, what you have is not just a disciple or even a group of disciple makers, but a network of micro churches. And then, again, by the grace of God, you might arrive at the place of being a part of a disciple-making movement. That's what we see in the Gospels and into the book of Acts. It was a disciple-making movement. And we're starting to see it again in some places around the world today. What can be unsettling and deflating is the huge gap between pray a prayer and attend church and disciples making disciples. And unfortunately, that pray a prayer and attend church is the end game in so many Christian circles. And if you recognize that gap in your life, it can be discouraging. Don't be discouraged. See, it's not about where you are on the progression I've just described. It's about your trajectory. Are you seeking to live all in, on mission with Jesus? If so, your trajectory is good. And by finding and joining with others who are also on the great mission of making disciples for the glory of God, you may well one day find yourself a part of a disciple-making movement. Now for a bit of a surprise, hopefully an encouraging surprise. If you are seeking to be a disciple who makes disciples, you're already part of a disciple-making movement. You just haven't met the rest of your team yet. Oh yeah, 1 year after my partner and I placed last in every single canoe race, we trained really hard, got to the nationals, got a silver medal. The next year, we went absolutely bananas in our training, got to the nationals again, came home with a gold medal. But it started when we realized the painful truth of how far off we were from the standard. We had to admit that and adjust for it. Be honest about where you are in relation to the biblical mission of making disciples. Set your compass towards living all in on mission with Jesus, on becoming a disciple who makes disciples. Join with others on the same journey, and you'll get where you need to go. For more on disciple making, living on mission, check out 12church.net or watch one of these next videos. Join with us on this great adventure of disciple making. God bless and press on.